David Parker Ray was impotent.
It's not going to suck itself.
I apologize in advance.
You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about the toy box killer, David Parker Ray.
Ooh.
Not who you going to call Ray Parker Jr.
Yes.
This is a different guy. He was born on November 6th, 1939 in Belen, New Mexico. And during his childhood, Ray and his younger sister, Peggy Pearl Ray. There's going to be a lot of three-named
Triple
motherfuckers
names
in this movie, in this in this episode. So you have to try to keep up. So yeah, we got Peggy Pearl Ray, and they were sent to live with their mother's very strict parents. So his and her grandparents. They lived on a ranch and were quite poor. We'll see a lot of these people are pretty poor, or they live in trailers and shit.
Run down, beat up.
Yeah. Ray was sporadically visited by his violent and alcoholic father, who would supply him with a lot of sadomasochistic porn. Because he was poor, he was into BDSM porn. He was bullied by his peers and was often shy around girls. This would lead to him abusing drugs and alcohol, which understandable, I guess.
Yep.
Like, here's some girls getting beat up. How are you going to have a normal relationship with the girl?
Is he like in third grade watching these girls run across the playground? Why aren't they wearing shackles and duct tape around their mouth?
Well, where's the anal beads?
Yes. Yeah. Keep jumping like that. Your anal bead's going to pop out, Bethany Pearl Ray. What are these fucking weird names?
Yes, and Ray's sexual fantasies of raping, torturing, and even killing women developed during his teen years. When he got bored of the porn, he would draw his own. And his sister, Peggy, found a lot of these drawings. And at that point, when she found these crazy-ass drawings of girls in ball gags and butt plugs and nipple clamps, she was like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm next. Yep.
Yeah, and they sort of stopped talking. We don't really hear from her again in this whole story.
Oh.
She was out.
Yeah, gone, I guess. I would love to see his drawings at the school fair when he's like in fourth grade. Well, we have Catherine's rendering of a bowl of fruit, excellent use of color and shading. And here's David's idea of an innocent second date. Great detail with the ball gag and nipple clamps. And the blood dripping from her ankles due to the shackles being too tight symbolizes a gentle passion. Good job, David. Very good.
Jeez.
The fuck is going on with these people?
Yeah. So based on statements made by Ray, he is believed to have begun assaulting women as early as his teenage years. In a statement that was recorded by Ray in 1993, he stated, quote, "I've been raping bitches ever since I was old enough to jerk off and tie little girls' hands behind their back." He even told his first wife, he was married several times, that he had committed his first murder in 1957, where he had kidnapped a woman, tied her to a tree, tortured, and then murdered her. Authorities were never able to verify this or any of the other potentially hundreds of victims that he may have murdered.
Yes, and speaking about recordings, there will be a lot more recordings later in this episode that get way off the rails.
Oh yeah, they're graphic as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so after high school, Ray did join the Army and actually received an honorable discharge. He was a mechanic in the Army, which he would go on to do that as his job. He did work also as a maintenance man for the New Mexico Parks Department. Like I said, he had several jobs as a mechanic. One of the jobs he had as a mechanic before he started working for the Parks Department, he allegedly killed his boss, and his trailer was in Truth or Consequences. He lived there for most of his adult life until his arrest, and there was a man-made lake in the nearby town of Elephant Butte, which was sort of a party town where Ray had found many of his victims.
This is like absolutely perfect for a serial killer.
Yeah.
You've got all the dumping grounds. You've got everything you need.
Yep.
All right in front of you. The name of the town is called Truth or Consequences. Something you should tattoo on each side of your hand when your lady talks out of line. Demanded to know the truth of what happened last night at the strip club. All right, bitch, you want the truth? Well, you're going to face the consequence too. That's crazy. What was the town next to it? Like Secrets and Sodomy? Truth or Consequences?
So the town, there was actually a game show called Truth or Consequence, and it started in the 1940s, and it was on the radio. Later, it did transition in like the 50s onto television, and they actually had a contest that challenged any town in the U.S. to name their town after the game show, Truth or Consequence. This little town in New Mexico did it, and the show made an appearance there. And in 1950, it was renamed Truth or Consequence, and it was originally named Hot Springs.
Yeah, Hot Springs would have been a lot better than Truth or Consequence.
It would, yeah. So next we're going to get into some of David Parker Ray's accomplices. A lot of the accomplices participated in the crimes that David Parker Ray committed. So in the late 90s, Ray met Cindy Hindy. She was 37 and he was in his 50s. She would end up being an accomplice to Ray, and she wound up in New Mexico after fleeing grand theft auto and drug charges in Washington state. She was a wild, live wire of a woman. In a 1993 recorded message, Ray told his captives that they would be forced to sexually service his lady friend in addition to Ray himself. This set the tone for Hindy to get plenty of cunnilingus. Another accomplice was his own daughter, which was Jessie Ray. David Parker Ray was divorced 4 times and had 2 children from all of those ladies, and one of them was an accomplice, Jessie Ray. She was a willing participant in rapes and tortures, and additionally, she would bring women to the toy box for Ray. At one point in 1986, Jessie actually reported to a FBI field office what David Parker Ray was doing, because they had just gotten into like this argument, and she was a vindictive bitch. At the time, the FBI claimed that the allegations were too vague and they didn't really investigate anything or make any kind of an arrest. And at this point in 1986, he potentially could have killed lots of people.
Yeah, at least 20, right?
Potentially, sure.
Easily. Yes. How fucking vague is... He has a trailer in his backyard that's soundproof and full of sexual torture devices where he picks up women, the same women that are now missing that you guys are looking for,
right?
Tortures them and kills them. Sounds very specific to me, Coop.
Yeah.
These feds are so fucking dumb.
They're stupid. One of the final accomplices was a gentleman by the name of Dennis Roy Yancey. Again, lots of names.
Yes.
He was the only accomplice that was actually convicted of a murder charge, and that was because he actually pled guilty to a 1997 murder of a 22-year-old Marie Parker in Elephant Butte. Yancey confessed to helping Jessie, his on and off girlfriend, because she was a lesbian. But she got on that medication, tried dicks again.
Yes.
Every now and then.
Yes.
So he would help Jessie lure women into captivity to her father's trailer. And Yancey said Parker was tortured and Ray forced him to strangle her to death. How do you force someone to strangling someone to death's not easy. It takes a while.
Yeah, that's very scary. You know this. It's hard on the wrist.
Yeah, you get tired.
Yes.
Authorities never found any forensic evidence to tie Ray or Jessie to this crime, and they really didn't find anything to tie Yancey to it either, but they had his confession. But they could never charge the other two with it because there was no body and no other forensic evidence.
They never found the body, but was still convicted of murder and sentenced to 20 years.
Yeah.
Who was his fucking lawyer? Joe Biden? It's literally impossible to convict unless there's a body, because there's always a possibility she still might be alive.
Yeah.
I bet he got another 15 years tacked onto his sentence because he killed 2 of his imaginary friends.
Right.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a law. I mean, it's called habeas corpus, produce the body. And they could never produce any fucking bodies.
I bet he's so dumb. I was like, I did kill her. I did.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I didn't. I did. I was like, dude.
But then he was like, but he forced me to do it.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to talk about some of the crimes that David Parker Ray was accused of, and they're pretty fucked up here.
This is going to get dark.
Yeah. Ray was very mechanically inclined. He was good at building stuff. He was good at creating things. And much of his torture devices were made out of scrap that he came across at his job as a park ranger. He purchased a shipping container, and he made it completely soundproof, filled it with torture devices, and he sexually tortured and presumably killed his victims using whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, leg spreading bars, surgical blades, electric shock machines, and saws.
Whips, nipple clamps, shackles. We should write that down on a grocery list and just leave it in a cart at your local grocery where people read it, they're like, what the fuck? Or put that on the fridge when your in-laws are coming by. Make sure you put the butter on the grocery list.
Yeah.
You go over to your daughter's house and she's, I'm going to air quote, happily married, and you see a fucking grocery list in their fridge.
Yeah, check Sarah's shopping list next time she goes out.
Yes.
She might have some of those things on there. He also had a variety of drugs, syringes, and detailed diagrams showing ways to inflict pain. It's estimated that Ray spent $100,000 or more on the trailer and the various sex toys and torture devices. It's also important to note that for a long time before Viagra became readily available, David Parker Ray was impotent.
Really?
Yeah, he was. He was not able to achieve an erection. That's probably why he was so pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he was. But later on, Viagra came on the market, and he was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" Like that's not a joke. Like for real, that's real.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He also had a fair amount of video recording equipment, and it's believed that many of the torture sessions were recorded and sold to people across the U.S. and possibly the world. I don't know why, if he was doing that, why no one kind of came forward and was like, "Hey, I got some video of David Parker Ray killing some girl on the." But if you're buying that kind of stuff, you're probably not gonna be like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and come forward and let the world know that I like snuff films."
Yep. Nope. And this is before the dark web too, so this is
yeah, it was old school. Sending VHSs, via the U.S. Postal Service.
Not good.
Yeah.
His torture chamber was worth over $100,000, they estimated. But his two shitty-ass single-wide trailers, Gorilla glued together, was worth $3,000 that he lived in.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
He did take two trailers and just fucking mash them together.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Wow.
So Ray constructed elaborate contraptions to confine his victims, such as a fur-lined coffin, an obstetric table, to which he would often strap his victims to while torturing them. He also had a mirror on the ceiling of the trailer so they could watch themselves being tortured and raped. And Ray would often drug his victims after the whole ordeal, causing at least one victim to not remember what had happened. And most of them were likely killed, but there were a couple that got away or that he just let go. The ones that he just let go, he heavily drugged, though, and they gave them sort of a amnesia, so they didn't really remember what had gone on, because he would drug them for days at a time. Then he would just let them go on the side of the road, and they wouldn't remember anything.
That is so creepy that you could... Ugh.
It kind of seemed to work. Nobody before the victim that we're going to talk about here a little bit reported this guy, It was presumed that Ray would kidnap 4 to 5 women per year, and he would hold them captive for sometimes up to 2 or 3 months. And exactly how many were murdered is unknown. Investigators believe that he raped, tortured, and killed up to 60 individuals throughout his life, but they have not been able to locate any remains. In the diary that Ray kept, it detailed what he did to each victim, but it did not disclose where bodies were buried or dumped.
They say he was detailed in this diary. He went in great detail on what he did, how he did it, how long he did it, where he did it. Could you imagine having to read all that?
Yeah. It would fuck with you, probably.
Yeah, big time. In addition to the diary, Ray had a hand-drawn treasure map with X's on it on various locations, possibly detailing where he dumped the bodies, all around the lake and the desert. Lizzo had a treasure map that had 137 X's on it. Turns out they were just the locations of every McDonald's in the tri-state area.
So according to Cindy Hindi, who almost immediately flipped on Ray once they were caught, Ray's victims were dismembered and their stomach cavities filled with sand and gravel, and they were dumped in the Elephant Butte Lake. And Elephant Butte Lake was a man-made like reservoir. It wasn't very good water, you know.
No,
I mean,
it wasn't.
Anything with water, it decomposes the body in a certain way that's fucked up. But this was like shitty water, and there was like catfish in there.
Yeah,
they were eating the bodies.
Yep.
She was dumped in Elephant Butte Lake, where he probably dumped a lot of people. By the time that there were remains found, so much time had passed between his capture and the information coming out about the bodies, and they were just like completely decomposed. There's just like a bag of like bones and skin and shit and piss and snot and blood. Like, you couldn't identify it
At all. If they drained that lake, imagine what they would find.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's really expensive to dredge lakes, I learned.
really?
Yeah, they probably could have dredged it, but like, it's been 10 years. It's probably too late, but like, they didn't even try.
Yep.
So years after his arrest, Ray did actually agree to show authorities where he had buried victims, but he died in prison before he could. And Cindy Hindi, who was a stupid bitch, was unable to assist investigators in recovering the bodies.
That bitch knew everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. She just didn't want to go to jail.
Yep.
So we're going to get into some of the victims that are like pretty obvious. He definitely killed these people. The first one was Billy Ray Bowers, and he was David Parker Ray's former boss at a mechanic shop where he had worked. His body was found by a fisherman at, you guessed it, Elephant Butte Lake. No identification was found on him, and he was identified by dental records. Him and Ray had had a disagreement about the future of the business, which was, like I said, an auto mechanic business, and it's believed Ray killed him. While incarcerated, it has also been reported that he told Cindy Hindi he had killed Billy Ray Bowers.
David Parker Ray probably fought with his boss because he demanded 2 more weeks vacation to catch up on his rapings and killings.
Yes.
He probably said the exact words. Yeah, boss, I'm way behind on my raping and killing at home, so it's affecting my work performance. Also, do you mind if I set up a trailer here at work?
Yeah, that'd really help if I had a rape trailer here.
Yes. The cops identified Billy Ray Bowers through his dental records, so that means they found both of his good teeth. Fucking idiots. I look at this trash in this fucking city, and I'm like, there's no way people like that live.
Yeah.
Did you know Elephant Butte's motto is dead serious? It's called Elephant Butte, let the fun begin. And Truth and Consequences motto is you're not making sense tied to that chair with the ball gag in your mouth.
Right.
So trashy.
Yeah. New Mexico is sort of, I don't know. There's a lot of meth, a lot of drugs. I don't know.
Everybody looks run down and ragged and gross.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. So another one of the probable victims was Jill Suzanne Troya, who was last seen at a restaurant in Albuquerque, where she had met Jesse Ray and was taken to the Elephant Butte Reservoir, and she was never heard from again. No body was ever found. Ray was known to have written detailed accounts of his torture and burials of victims, as we've said before, where there was an entry in which he described an Asian woman who fit Jill Suzanne's description. Authorities were never able to tie him to the murder or her disappearance. Another one was Sylvia Marie Parker. She was a homeless woman living on the shores of Elephant Butte. Like, she was seriously living there in a tent that she borrowed from David Parker Ray.
Wow.
Like, on the shores of Elephant Butte.
She probably had like one of those little hand shovels she can just bury her shit in the sand.
Exactly.
Good grief.
She's buried it like a cat. Yeah, so this was perfect for Ray, as this was his primary dump site. She was also a known acquaintance of David Parker Ray and Jesse Ray, who supplied her with meth. Yeah. So it's funny because a lot of these girls were addicts or prostitutes or whatever. But David Parker Ray, he was always super clear-headed. Like, he didn't do drugs. He didn't drink, really. He was just a sick fuck. He wanted to, like, have a clear-headed experience drug-free.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Like I said, Parker was living in a tent with her 2 children, in a tent that David Parker Ray provided. And police later discovered that Parker was the on-again, off-again boyfriend of Dennis Roy Yancey, who was also the on-again, off-again boyfriend of Jessie Ray, where this gets kind of confusing because I guess she's also a lesbian. He's fucking both these homeless girls. There's meth, cocaine, rape, torture, Asian ladies. So he was a known associate of Ray as well, as we've said, and Parker disappeared in July of 97 and was suspected to be subjected to several days of torture before Ray. This is the one murder that Roy Yancey confessed to killing her, and he did say that David Parker Ray made him kill her. In June of 1999, a fisherman found an 80-pound sack filled with human remains, and it's thought that the body was cut into small pieces and placed in the sack, and that the remains were those of Parker, although no positive ID was ever able to be made because of the age of the remains and the decomposition.
And the fact that someone spilled A1 sauce on top of that bag and Rosie O'Donnell ate the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it was gone.
Yes. Oh, this is a perfect dinner.
It's funny how many times in different things we've covered the police like lose evidence or destroy evidence.
Don't even look into it.
But this time it was Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
She ate that whole motherfucker.
Back again, we said this in an episode before. This is why I don't fucking fish. It's always a fisherman that finds this horrible shit.
It is. Like fishermen, joggers, bike riders. Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah. No thanks.
So we're going to get into now the sequence of events that led to David Parker Ray and some of his accomplices being arrested. And that started with a woman by the name of Cynthia Vigil. And she was abducted in an Albuquerque parking lot by David Parker Ray and old Cindy Hindy. That just sounds like this girl that's got like a blown out fucking pussy. Cindy Hindy. And she was like a live wire too. Like she was fucking everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she didn't care.
What's that clapping noise? Oh, that's Cindy Hindy jogging.
Dudes, chicks, she didn't care. So they took her to Elephant Butte and confined her to the trailer and tortured her. And after 3 days of captivity, Vigil was able to escape the trailer. So Cynthia Vigil, she was kind of a badass. So to escape, she was chained up and she waited until David Parker Ray had gone to work, and she was able to unlock the chains because stupid ass Cindy Hindy just left the keys on a table that was like nearby. And during the escape, a fight did break out between Cindy Hindy and Cynthia Vigil, and Hindy broke a lamp over Vigil's head. But this is awesome. But Vigil was able to stab her in the neck with an ice pick and escape. She then immediately contacted the authorities. Funny enough, though, she was lured to David Parker Ray's home with the promise of being provided with some cake mix. So Cindy Hindy and David, they were friends, right?
Yeah.
And she was really poor, and she's like, oh, my kid's birthday party's coming up, and I can't afford to make him a cake. And Cindy Hindy was like, well, why don't you just come over and get some cake mix, and you can just have it. And that's how they got her there.
Yes.
Like cake mix.
I'll tell you, nobody can resist Betty Crocker's cake mix. I bet Cynthia went back later that day, still naked with that shackle around her neck, looking for that fucking cake mix.
Where my cake mix, Cindy Hindy?
Moving detectives out of the way. I want this fucking confetti mix.
Right.
David Parker Ray told the cops that he didn't abduct Cynthia. He was actually helping her overcome her heroin addiction, and any rough sex was consensual.
Right.
He literally, and he thought they'd fucking believe that dumb shit. I don't know if that's part of the 12-step program. Yeah, I know you're an alcoholic, but the best way to overcome your cravings is to have jumper cables on your nipples while being whipped, hanging from the ceiling of a double-wide trailer. That's how we're going to get you to lay off the fucking bottle, Cynthia. Right. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And there's a video of him really saying that. Yeah, she was an addict, and we were just trying to help her out.
Right.
Really? Oh, my goodness.
Right. So after this, David Parker Ray was arrested, and a week into the trial for the crimes against Vigil, Ray agreed to a plea bargain and was sentenced in 2001 to 224 years in prison for numerous offenses in the abduction and sexual torture of 3 women at his Elephant Butte home. So he was given a lot of time for just 3 crimes, and none of which were murder, by the way.
Yep.
The plea deal, from what I understand, was kind of because he was able to get leniency on his daughter's involvement, Jessie Ray's involvement in these various crimes. And prosecutors actually stated that the surviving victims approved the deal, and Jessie Ray was charged with kidnapping and criminal sexual penetration. And she pled no contest to these charges, and she did receive only a 30-month prison sentence. And Jessie Parker Ray was a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, she was luring women, diking it out with women, like scissoring them in the fucking toy box trailer, probably.
All of that crap.
As soon as I said that, Sarah's head shot up.
Yeah. Scissoring. Oh, yes. 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 Sarah went to a Joanne Fabric scissoring seminar and was let down. Like, that kind. Well, I guess I'll put my pants back on.
Jeez.
Oh.
So yeah, 30 months for, like 2.5 years or something. She supplied some of these women basically to her father, which is fucking weird too.
I spent more time trying to pay off my Buick, all right, than the fucking time she spent in prison for all this horrendous.
Yeah. So again, the only person that pled guilty to a murder was Dennis Roy Yancey, and in 1997 he did plead guilty to the murder of Marie Parker, and he also stated again that Ray forced him to kill her. And it's important to note that David Parker Ray and Jessie Ray were not charged at all in Marie Parker's murder. And Yancey was paroled after serving only 11 years of a 30-year sentence. And again, it's also important to note that David Parker Ray was given a much longer sentence with no murder charges. So 224 years for abducting and torturing, 30 years for murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in 2011, Yancey was charged with violating his parole, and he was remanded to custody for many more years, and he was released in 2021, though. And in 2000, Cindy Hindi, who had testified against Ray, received a sentence of 36 years for her role in the crimes, and she was paroled in 2019.
I don't think these stupid fuckers can do math, because 2,000 plus 36 is 2036.
Right.
It's not 2019. So it's crazy. You can get 30 years for murder, but 224 years for kidnapping and torture.
I know, it's so messed up.
Yeah, I was going to let you go and I was going to let you live, but I realized I'd get 224 years if I did that. So now I have to fucking kill you.
Right.
That's our system. Sorry, honey.
Right.
How dumb is this?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how they were able to get him 224 years for kidnapping and torture. It's crazy. So in 2002, Ray was to be questioned by the New Mexico State Police, where he was allegedly going to confess and give locations of the various bodies. But unfortunately, he died of a heart attack before the interrogation could ever take place. Yeah, Jessie Ray Parker and Yancey and Cindy Hindi, they're not saying shit.
He spent 4 months in prison. That was all he spent before he died.
Yep, it's crazy.
Oh my goodness. And this David Parker Ray was one weird looking fucker too.
Yeah.
For those listening, if you took Mark Twain, gave him leprosy, and then made his face as wrinkly as your grandpa's left testicle, you know, the one with all the piercings, good grief, then you would have this raggedy fucker. And I love that when he was in court, everybody else was wearing a suit and tie except him. No, he put on his Sunday best, wearing his dirty-ass Wrangler jeans, for real, fucking beat-up old cowboy boots, and that stupid... I see people wearing this shirt to this day. It makes me so mad. That stupid-looking Navajo landscape dress shirt.
Yeah.
You know, that's like bright orange and purple with the fucking triangles and the cactuses.
Yeah, lots of turquoise.
Yes. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And he was a heavy smoker, too.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy smoker, yeah.
Shitty-ass shirt full of mustard stains and cigarette burns.
Yes.
A fucking loser. And everybody in that town looked like that, too. where if you bought your wedding clothes from Dollar General, people were impressed. Like, oh, I didn't know they were living that good. This is nice. David was able to pull all this shit off because he surrounded himself with stupid people that he can manipulate. Yeah, and it's not that hard in that podunk town. This is the kind of town where you could play the same episode of Texas Walker on TV every day for a month and nobody would catch on yet.
Yeah, it was definitely a small, drug-infused town.
Yes. I mean, no hope, nothing.
Yeah.
There was one victim that survived by the name of Kelly Garrett. She was drugged so intensely she had no idea it ever happened. All she remembers was fighting with her husband, going to the bar and having one beer, just one beer, and then waking up 3 days later all bloody on the side of the road.
Yeah.
3 days later, and not one missing person call search from her husband at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Husband of the year.
Yeah, this is one of the girls that he just, like, drugged the shit out of, and they just kind of... They lost memory of what happened.
She said before anything ever happened, of course, her husband and they got back together because that's true love.
Yeah.
This is what Nicholas Sparks writes all of his fucking romantic movies about.
Right.
She said that she kept having nightmares that she's being tied down or being, held against her will, taped up and shackled.
Yeah, it came back to her, from what I understand, at some point, but it was like years later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And get this, the way she found out she was one of his victims, she was told by the FBI when they found a video, they saw a lady being bound and gagged and tied to some gynecological chair with David Parker Ray in front of her rubbing her leg. And the only way they could identify her, because her face was all taped up and gagged and all that, she had this low-grade shitty tattoo on her leg. So the FBI asked everybody, does anybody know anybody with this unique tattoo? And she came forward and was like, yeah, that's my tattoo. And it was a very unique one, I guess.
Yeah.
Finally, a benefit to getting a shitty tattoo. You can be
identified by it, yeah.
Another creepy thing was the pre-recorded cassette tape message that, this is the one where it gets dark, that David Parker Ray played for all of his victims.
Yeah,
He'd have them much. They'd be totally naked by the time they woke up from being drugged. And they're chained, shackled, duct tape mouth. And it was him going into detail on what's going to happen to them. Yeah, and how he would tell them how no one will find you. Nobody will look for you. There's no escape. If you fight, you will be killed.
Yeah.
And how long you'll be tortured. And it goes in creepy detail on what they do. So, the best part, the recording starts with, hello, bitch.
That's how I walk in the door every day. I just kick the door open.
Yes.
Just yell, hello, bitch.
Now, most jurors during this whole thing were like, they're thinking, wait, he's off to a good start. Let's hear him out.
He's got a point here.
Yeah, let's hear him out. Then he goes dark by saying, you'll be raped thoroughly and repeatedly in every hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to like it a fucking bit. And I'm quoting him verbatim. But I don't give a rat's ass about that. It's not like you're going to have any choice about the matter. So for those listeners out there right now working at Cracker Barrel, yes, this is almost the same thing you heard in your training video from your associate manager.
That's good, yeah.
Another crazy thing is Special Agent Rust.
Oh, yeah, this is messed up.
This is really messed up.
Yeah.
From the FBI, was tasked to log everything she saw in the tortured trailer.
Yeah, so they took the trailer, they actually transported it to Albuquerque or somewhere where the FBI field office was.
Took her 5 days when she was done. 5 days to log everything down. And when she was done, she walked out of the trailer and shot herself in the head.
Yeah, like it was so fucked up. This FBI agent killed herself.
Who's already seen shit her whole life.
Yeah.
Like this.
It was too much.
Yeah, I guess they didn't show it, but there's photographs of a whole bunch of the victims all across the walls. And anyway, the FBI said it didn't have anything to do with what she saw.
I don't know about that.
Knowing them, somehow they probably blamed Lee Harvey Oswald for it.
Yeah, he was there at the book suppository.
Yep,
he killed this poor lady.
Yes. In this whole case, the cops, the judges, the dumb fuck jurors messed the whole thing up. First, Kelly Garrett's trial was a hung jury.
Yeah.
Because the idiot jurors thought the video of her being drugged, bound, gagged in a soundproof torture chamber was maybe consensual.
Yeah, and didn't they find her whole story? They're like, it sounds unbelievable. It's unbelievable that some dude could do all this to someone, or what?
Fucking idiots are... What kind of jurors are there? The judge, the stupid idiot judge, would not allow the tape recording for the first thing.
Yeah.
So
why not?
He said it wasn't relevant.
It wasn't relevant. It could just be. It didn't prove anything.
I'll tell you.
It didn't prove. It
Sure.
didn't prove that he
Yeah.
just making a recording is not against the law. If
David-
it was, we'd be in jail.
Yes. David David probably promised the judge he could have his stupid fucking Navajo print dress shirt if somehow they could get a hung jury out of this.
Yeah.
Even unhoused people wouldn't wear that dumbass shirt.
For those of you that aren't politically correct, unhoused is bums.
Yes. So at the retrial, they got a judge whose parents weren't siblings, okay? And they allowed the tape message to be played in court. They didn't even play the whole damn thing, and David was begging his lawyer for a plea deal.
Yeah, that's where the plea deal came
Yup,
in.
completely. Right then, they should have just said, show us the bodies, David, or we're going to try out your little toy box trailer on you.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. Yeah.
That would have been perfect. Then they have a video of the cops searching the lake at Elephant Butte Park for any bodies. And there's a video of them searching.
Yeah.
And all they did was drive slowly, looking up at the sky. Okay, the bodies are in the fucking water, idiots. Stop looking up at the sky.
That's what I was saying earlier. They didn't dredge it or send like divers in or any of that shit, you know?
And another part of the video where the boats are going through the water trying to look for it, and I'm air quoting look for it.
You're
You
right.
could see a whole bunch of the people searching, just waving at people on the shore. Because everyone's like, what are all the cops doing in the water?
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked if they spent most of the day fishing.
Yeah.
Right in front of all the people. We're hoping the fish can give us some clues.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just cannot believe all that happened.
Yeah.
And the scary thing of all this, Cindy Hendy, Jesse Ray, and David Yancey are all free right now.
Yeah, they are.
Walking the streets.
They are. Yeah, Cindy Hendy lives somewhere in the South. I've read that Jesse Ray is a truck driver, a giant lesbian truck driver. David Yancey, I'm not sure where he's at, but yeah, they are all definitely free and out there in the world. So yeah, that's fucking weird and crazy. So that's our episode. Appreciate you listening. Please give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram. Send us an email at beforewegetcanceled@gmail.com if you have any suggestions or things you might like to hear us cover. Please like and follow us on the streaming platform that you listen to us on so that you'll be notified of new episodes. Thank you for listening. My name's Cooper.
I'm Scott.
I'm Sarah.
We'll see you next time.
You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.